people have a hard time accepting that this is a new you. That's what I remember. And the holidays is a time to reminisce on the old days and what you used to do and the family traditions. Like my younger sister, Alexis, she always makes like this cream of mushroom soup. And I was like obsessed with it. And I'd have so many bowls of it and just all these thick and really heavy, rich things. And I'm just like, I'm good. And she's like, but you used to always want it. I'm like, I just don't.
With the GLP-1s, it's like I can't stomach as much of that stuff. It's like the rich food makes a lot of us sick. So a lot of the stuff at Thanksgiving, I have to just take like it's like I do like a little tasting plate.
Welcome to Holistic Dose. We've been through the plot twist, divorce, parenting, burnout, reinvention, and now we're doing midlife with way more honesty and way less BS. Think of us as your unfiltered friends, here to remind you that you're not too late, too old, or too far behind. I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Jeanette.
So today we are going to be talking about your first Thanksgiving on a GLP-1. Jeanette and I have been on a GLP-1 and for several years now. I think since it was like 2022.
Yeah, so this will be our fourth Thanksgiving on a GLP-1.
Yeah, and would love to just it is still relatively new for so many people and figured, while we're all going through midlife changes, and that includes many of us on these medications, let's talk about some of our past experiences and kind of how to prepare and how to approach this Thanksgiving season.
Yeah, absolutely. So what was your experience, your first Thanksgiving on the GLP-1? We've both been on Monjaro and then we switched
Mhm.
to compound tirzepatide.
Yeah, and that's when I became a founder in Orderly Meds. Little plug there if anybody wants to get their meds from us. But yeah, so I'm trying to remember my first Thanksgiving. I would always go to my sister's house, and she really does it up and does a really, really huge spread. And I was like, not interested in wanting all the food.
Yeah.
It can be like it can almost feel, a little bit like sad because you get used to this routine and
Mm-hmm.
this whole like, okay, we're going to prepare all this time with all the meals and you're like the desserts and this, that, there, and the other. And I'm like, I didn't care at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, it's like there's really had to be a perspective shift. And really,
Hmm.
it's not just with Thanksgiving and the holidays, it's kind of with
Sure.
everything, right?
It
Like, and
is.
I think we've talked before about how we used to plan travel around where we're going to eat and the
Oh, yeah.
food. And now it's more like, with like our Las Vegas trip, it was like the experience, like the restaurants with the show. And it wasn't
Exactly.
just, oh my God, what are we going to eat?
Yeah. It's so different. And before we talk about a little bit more about our experience, I pulled up some fun and interesting stats about Thanksgiving in general. So, pop quiz, Jeanette, if you have
Mm.
any idea about how many calories the average American eats for their Thanksgiving meal?
Just for the actual meal,
Just for the dinner.
3,000 calories.
Oh, close. I mean, it's about 2,000, but that's just
Okay.
honestly, that's the main meal, right? So we're
Yeah.
not counting like,
Well, it's
if
hard
it,
to say, like, for me, it's like we eat, like, a early afternoon. It's almost like we combine lunch and dinner, and
mm-hmm.
honestly, we probably eat more than 2,000 calories.
Correct, correct. So that is inclusive of like the appetizers, the desserts, and all that. So it does add up, what these stats say does surge up to 3,000 or more. And then you go on to the full spread, and then people will go for the leftovers in like on
Mhm.
the same day.
Yeah.
Um, So it's a lot, and then speaking of the leftovers, then people are diving in for the next several days.
Oh, I
So
always eat pumpkin pie for
mhm,
breakfast the next day, which has been interesting, like, on the GLP-1, like, I still do it, it's my tradition, but I
mhm.
might take a couple bites that I'm like, "Okay, now I'm just gonna drink my coffee."
Oh my god, and Costco's, like, pumpkin pie, like, amazing, and
Really?
those they sell yes, they sell so many of them, and an average, like, slice of that can be, like, 400 calories or so.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
and now it was like I used to look forward to, like, the pumpkin pie, like, all the different types of desserts and the cookies and everything, and then I'd make a huge spread, and I started having some bites around the appetizers, and then I'm like, "I'm kinda good," and then for
Mhm.
desserts, I just, like, literally put, like, one tiny little bite
Yeah.
on my plate.
Yeah.
So, what I was gonna cover, I think next, I felt like was really big for me was the whole emotional shift. It's the first time that people are around other family members. It's a lot of times when you're not really seeing the big changes in people. You get together at the holidays, and then it becomes the criticism.
Mhm.
and people wanting to know what you did or you're losing too much and, like, all the things, and
The
it
losing
just
too much thing is so odd to me.
it
Like, my
is.
parents say that, like, they're,
Mhm, I
"Oh,
get it
don't
too.
lose any more, you're getting too skinny," and
Right.
I'm really not. I am right in the middle of the healthy
Mhm,
BMI range. So, I
mhm.
am, like, not even close to underweight.
Right,
So, yeah, I mean, it's like almost every holiday, it's like, "Oh, don't lose any more." Like,
right.
my weight's been stable now for 2 years. Actually, I gained 10 pounds and then slowly lost it again.
Right.
Like, even now, I'm still not at risk of being underweight.
Yeah, and, do you feel like you got almost like the reverse? Like, when you were overweight,
Yes.
did they bring it up for you?
Yes. So it's kinda like for me, I feel like I can never win. Like,
Mhm.
it
Yep.
doesn't matter. I'm never just right. It's like
Mhm.
I'm either too big and need to focus on that, and then they would, like, bring it up kinda health angle and stuff, but still,
Yes,
it was
for
brought
sure.
up. But now and it's still kinda health angle, like, you don't wanna be, too thin, and it's like,
Really, why?
"Dear God."
I will say that that was the story for me for the longest time, but honestly, like, I think it was, like, last year was the first time I can remember my mom actually just complimenting me for how I am now and, like, saying I look
Nice.
great. I'm like, "Oh my god, it took, like, what, 44 years to hear that."
Mhm.
I guess, no, it's better than never, but it always becomes, like, an awkward thing, and then people are crowding around, and they all wanna know, and I am, like, much like you, we celebrate and we tell everybody, but that's not
Yeah.
the case for everybody, and that's hard.
Yeah. Yeah, my family members, we always go to, like, my aunt and uncles for Thanksgiving. We're not doing that this year, but they didn't comment on it at all, which I was
Mhm.
fine with, like, okay. So, I mean, I'm kinda glad. I'd rather not have, like, a million questions and, I don't know, everything was just normal, but it's my parents who will
Oh.
make the observations about my size.
Oh, completely. You know what? The one thing that I noticed that was cool, just as far as like emotionally and physically feeling different, is traveling. I could finally feel what it was like to like cross my legs
It's so
comfortably on the
nice on the
airplane.
airplane. Like,
Yes.
so at my heaviest, I was pretty close to needing the seatbelt extender. Like, I
Mm.
was able to, like, push it closed, and it was, like,
Mm-hmm.
really tight and uncomfortable because damn it, I am not gonna get that extender.
Right.
And now
Right.
to actually be legitimately small in that airplane seat is
Yeah.
weird. And I used to always want an aisle seat, so this is something that was, like, out of habit choose the aisle seat, and when
Right.
we just did our Vegas trip, I was like, "I would prefer the window so I could lean against it
Mm-hmm.
and sleep."
The
But I
window's where it's
always
at.
wanted the aisle, because even, like, my upper body, like, I was big, my arms would, like, kinda go into the seat next to me, and so it would give me that extra space, which I don't need anymore.
Right, and now yeah, and even the aisle, like, I would be annoyed with sitting in the aisle even at any point because then you have to kind of worry when the stewardess is
Cart
passing
comes
by.
by and you're g yes.
Like, you can never really settle and feel relaxed, and
Yeah,
it's
you
just it's
feel in
such
the
a different
way,
feeling.
like, you're always
Mhm.
concerned about, like, where am I overflowing into?
Mhm. Yeah, and I don't have to worry about anybody looking at me being like, "Oh, they're gonna be the ones that's sitting next to you."
Mhm. Yeah.
I'm like this guy went on a recent Vegas trip and he was like, "Oh, unfortunately, I'm stuck in the middle," and I'm just like, "Yeah, unfortunately, like, I'm stuck with you." I
Yeah.
mean, just it's so different,
Yeah.
and I think another big thing too was people have a hard time accepting that this is a new you.
Mhm.
That's what I remember, and the holidays is a time to, reminisce on the old days and what you used to do and the family traditions. And, like my younger sister Alexis, she always makes like this cream of mushroom soup. And I was like obsessed with it. And I'd have so many bowls of it and just all these thick and really heavy, rich things. And I'm just like, I'm good. And she's like, but you used to always want it. I'm like,
With
I
the
just don't.
GLP-1s, it's like I can't stomach as much of that stuff. It's like the
Mm-mm.
rich food makes a lot of us sick.
Yeah,
So, a lot of the stuff at Thanksgiving, I have to just take, like it's like I do, like, a little tasting plate, and
that's what
I'll
I do too.
taste different things, and then I probably take, like, a good amount of, like, turkey, just, like,
Uh
kinda
huh.
healthy, and then if there's usually, like, some kinda salad, so I'll have, like, the turkey and salad, and then, like, the rich, like, the macaroni and cheese and the
Mm-hmm.
stuff that's very rich, I just take a tasting or else I'm gonna get sick.
Yeah, that's exactly it, and you know what I was remembering too, because I just grabbed, like, a roasted chicken on my way home before recording this and I was eating it. And I was like, oh, I'm going to dive in and eat this chicken and the skin. And it reminded me about growing up and being shamed for wanting to eat the skin on the turkey. Like,
Because that's the
you could
fatty part.
and always get the white meat, not the dark meat, and now I'm like,
Mhm.
"Whatever," and
Yeah,
nobody
same.
needs to look at my plate and tell me otherwise.
Mhm.
Same thing with potatoes. I wanted, like,
Yes.
the mashed potatoes, and I know you're a huge potato lover.
I love potatoes. Probably my
Isn't that, like,
favorite
your
food.
one thing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
your favorite
baked
thing?
potatoes, mashed scallops.
Every which way you
Yeah.
wanted them, right? And then I'm like, "Yeah, and I do want whatever bread is being served."
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And
when I was big, I would, really pay attention to the carbs, like, I didn't do much rice, or if I did, I'd do brown rice, and now I truly I don't it's more like I pay attention to overall calories, like, if
mhm,
I'm eating, constant, like, really rich stuff, of course, we're not gonna maintain our weights, but, yeah, I don't have to worry as much about, "Oh my
mm-mm,
god, the skin on the chicken," or, "Oh, it's white
right,
rice."
mhm. I also remember too, it's like one thing I've always dealt with is like the food pushers. They just
Mm.
want
I've
you to
never
have
had that in my family.
I have it a lot. And I think it has to do with people who feel guilty for their own weight and their body and everything, and they want to kind of pull you down that path. Um,
Yeah, maybe. Or I could see someone who's, like, really into cooking, and it's like, they want to see you enjoy it, right?
yeah, that isn't really the
Your
example I'm talking
situation?
about. No, I mean, my sister, yes, she wants that, but usually my mom, it's not that. I remember even my grandma growing up and things like that. Like, yeah, it just was not that.
Hmm.
It was kind of like, have this. And I'm like, no, I'm like really good. So, I remember that was a road trip that we took with my mom that one time to the beach. And, she really wanted to stop for like a McDonald's like hamburger. And she was just like, you don't want one? I'm like, no, no, I don't want one. Like, nothing against it. No, I don't. And she's like,
Yeah.
don't you really? Don't you really? And I'm like, no, I really don't. But like, do you want me to pull over because you want one? This is a you scenario.
Mhm.
And then same thing, we would stop at, like, Buc-ee's or any other, like, food stop, and she would get stuff, and then she would, like, pass me the bag. I'm like, "No, I'm good." She's like, "Well, don't you" I'm like, "No." And she very, very big on food pushing,
Hmm,
very big.
interesting.
And I'm like, "It's completely okay." And she would make me go out of my way to go pick up all these things, and then she would, like, when she was leaving, she's like, "Oh, here, just keep them, eat them." I go, "I'm not gonna want them, so if you're gonna take them with you, I'm throwing 'em away."
Mhm.
Like, it's okay that I'm no longer that person, right?
Yeah.
And I've gotten better about setting those boundaries, but initially I wasn't really comfortable. So what I'm hoping is that, people who this could be their first holidays on the med, prepare yourself mentally because it sucks because you're excited and you want to be able to celebrate all these amazing wins.
Mhm.
And then to know that you might not be faced with this kind of support that you're ultimately hoping for.
Yeah, I think go into it with no expectations as to how family is going to react. So many people are
Right.
judgy about it. I've had people say
Yes.
to me, "Are you doing it the easy way or the hard way?"
Yeah.
And it's like, "Screw you. I'm just as long as I'm doing it, like,
Right. What does
that's
it
amazing."
matter? Yeah, at the end of the day, it's a tool and whatever works for you is great. I think what was so fun is for the first time in my life. So, for those of you who this is your first Thanksgiving and holiday season, I realized I was like, wow, I don't have to hide from being in family photos anymore.
Mhm.
Capture all the pictures you want, all the angles, like go for it.
Yeah.
That was something I had like used to really navigate, and I realized, especially when Gabby was younger, which was kinda sad, like, I just wasn't in many photos.
I would hide behind other bodies. Did you do that
Mhm.
where it's like you
Oh,
just kinda make
yeah,
yourself peek out,
totally.
and now
I
it's like,
knew
"I'll be in
exactly
front."
which angle. Yes,
Mhm.
exactly, and I don't have to worry anymore, and I know that, like, yes, we've both lost the weight, and candidly, we've also done the skin removal surgery, Again, that's also just not cheating, it's decisions that we made for ourselves, but now I'm like, "Oh, my thin arms, I don't have to, like, worry about different angles." I just
Mhm.
you can be present and not worry if people are capturing candid photos or video clips of you.
Yeah.
I would used to be so scared. I'm like, "What's gonna show up online? Who's gonna tag me?" And I would have to go. It just adds so much stress and pressure.
Yeah, for sure.
And then, did you guys always do, like, family photos? Like, a lot of people do those family, like, fall photos.
No, my family was never really into that, and then I think just because I'm not used to that, I haven't really done that with my family, like,
Mm,
the beach photos my family did a
right.
few months
Yeah.
ago, those since except for our wedding, those are the only family photos we've done.
Oh, wow. We
Yeah.
used to do them all the time with Gabby, and then I remember, again, when I would go to my sister's for Thanksgiving, and then they started doing the family photos, and earlier on, I just was like, "I don't feel like being a part of this." But
Yeah.
now I'm like, "Oh my god, I still wanna be a part of it." It's like a fun thing and memories. You just feel overall, like, so much better.
Yeah, and I do remember that anytime there was something with photos, a lot of times with, like, work events or, like, for the work website, always wanting to review it and pick which one and critique it, and
Mhm.
now I don't care about that either because 'cause I'm like, "They're all gonna look fine."
Yeah.
But just having that self-consciousness.
Yeah, it completely is that, and knowing that, like, you just don't have to plan out all the activities of the whole food. It's such a different wild experience. It's
Mhm.
like, you preparing the food all day, and then you're eating, like, early. Yeah, like, we used to also do, like, around, like, 1, 2 o'clock, and then you eat, and then you go nap, and then you come back
Mhm.
again, and then you nap, and it's like this constant grazing. And I was like, "I'm kinda bored. Like, what are we
Mhm.
gonna do that's gonna be like, let's get out board games. I don't wanna just eat and sleep, eat and sleep, eat and sleep, you know?
Yeah.
I wanna do
Yeah, my
something
family,
more."
we do, like, Scrabble and movies and
Mhm,
games, and we've always been like that, so that's kinda what I focus on now. It's really not about the food, it's just
mhm.
about the company.
Did those activities you feel like they changed that first, like, holiday season at Thanksgiving?
No, not really. I was nervous going in because I was like, people are gonna notice that I'm not really eating. Am I gonna feel
Yeah.
sick? That was a big one. I was like,
Oh, right.
I don't, because we went to someone else's home, and I'm like, I don't wanna get a stomach
Oh my
ache.
god.
And really, it
Yes.
was like no big deal, for me. I mean, everyone's family is different. Mine didn't comment on anything, and we had just started, like, I wasn't down. I think I was down maybe 30 pounds, which
Mhm.
isn't nothing, but it wasn't like a transformation that, I
Right.
had like a year later. I was down 30 pounds and I put food on my plate. And I think everyone just talked so much they didn't even really notice how
Mm.
little I ate.
Yeah, people definitely notice it for me, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, it's just always a thing, and I feel like eyes are on me. So my advice to people would be, because of that, and you really just don't know what you're gonna expect, I think it's completely okay, and draw those boundaries up front. Have the conversations with your family members and say, "Hey, listen, I think if you set the tone, if you don't talk about things, then it becomes like this big ol' elephant in the room. But
Yeah.
if you just lay it down and set the boundaries, then I think it's perfectly okay to say, "I'm really excited about the progress I've made. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me, but this holiday season's gonna look differently for me, and
Hmm.
I want, like, love and positivity and support, and that's about it."
Yeah, and I think that's probably really hard for it's probably harder for people who aren't as open as we are,
Yeah.
who are very private and, not only don't want people to know that they're using the shot, but also wouldn't
Mhm.
even want people to know that you're on a weight loss journey. And,
Yeah.
for those folks, I can see, like, how do you address this if somebody asks? That's
Oh,
tough.
yeah. It's completely anxiety ridden. And, you know, I've been around people before and people are relentless. It's like, drop it already. When I know I'm with somebody who is on the meds and they don't want the people to know,
Yeah.
and other people approach them and they are like drilling them. They're like, "Are you on it?" Just like Tiffany is. And they will not stop and let it go. I'm like, just let it go. Like, this
Yeah.
is so, it reminds me of when people are pressuring people to know if when they're going to have kids. It's like,
Mhm.
why is this your business?
Yeah, it's
Like,
bizarre.
unless you have real interest because you wanna know and to help you along a journey, otherwise, like.
So I think, plan if you don't plan on sharing that I'm losing trying to lose weight, I'm on, Mounjaro or whatever,
Mhm.
have some responses, if it's,
Yes.
I'm just trying to not overeat today because I
Yes.
get a stomach ache, or I'm
Yes.
just trying to be healthy.
I'm on a new challenge with work
Yeah.
and
Come up with
you know?
something.
Exactly. I think that is a really great piece of advice, being prepared for that because otherwise you're just kinda caught and
Mhm.
you don't know what to do. As far as, like, other tips, I would say travel-wise, and you mentioned, a lot of the foods can kinda get you sick. This happened to me one time. You tend to be a little bit more loose and you kinda forget and you get
Yeah.
comfortable with the meds. This happened to me and before I was flying to visit my sister, and I hadn't really eaten that much all day and didn't drink enough water, didn't have solid protein in my stomach. And then we went to the airport with Gabby, and she got Chick-fil-A, and I just had, like, one, like, little small nugget and maybe, like, 2 fries. That was enough grease in it. Not normally, I'd be
Mm.
fine, but that was enough when you don't have solid protein in your stomach and you're not prepared to get in my system and start feeling sick. And then it was the next day, breakfast comes, and then the next meal and it's like, "Oh my god, I am really sick." So I would say I
Yeah.
always now pack Gas X, Pepto, bring the liquid, but bring the tablets too, and an acid reflux medicine. This way you don't have to, like, run out, and especially if you're trying to keep things a little bit more
Yeah.
secret,
Yeah.
because I was up all night in the bathroom, it was
Oh, that's
horrible.
horrible. I've always liked the ginger chews, and the one
Mhm.
I like the most is the brand Ginseng, I think it's called.
Yes. Uh-huh.
This like Dramamine makes one, and those didn't work as well. The ginseng ones are like really strong, and those have helped a lot. Because for those of us in active weight loss, like I had to go on a pretty high dose. I went all the way up to
Mhm.
15. So
Yep.
my second Thanksgiving, I had some my first Thanksgiving, I was still titrating up, right? Like we probably only been on it 3 months, maybe.
Yep.
So we weren't on the high dose yet. My second Thanksgiving, I was probably on at least 12.5, maybe the 15 highest dose. And I had some pretty bad side effects. I mean, not like they were tolerable, but I was still having them, and so I think that year, we did Thanksgiving at my parents' home, so it was like an hour and a half drive, and so we were staying the night, like, a few days, and so we were bringing the dogs, and we were in the car, and I was feeling nauseous, and I was eating the ginger
Ooh,
chews, and then the dog farted, and that pushed me over the edge. Jeff had to pull over. I was like, "I'm gonna throw
really?
up. I'm gonna throw up. I can't, like, pull over." And
Oh
yeah,
my
I
god.
I had to jump out of the car and throw up because it was like I was hanging in there, and then that smell of the dog's
Oh,
fart
oh,
just killed
no.
me.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
So be prepared for
Be
who
prepared.
knows what.
You just never know, and that's the thing, like, I love to make sure I just have, like if I have to pack extra things like toiletries, whatever, like medications, it's so much better to have it on hand because
Mhm. I'd rather
when
be
it
over
kinda hits
prepared.
yeah, once, like, it starts hitting your stomach feeling upset, it's like, if you can take care of it right away, it's not that bad.
And I know that when you have gotten sick from eating something that bothers you, it lasts a lot longer for you than it
Days.
does me. Yeah, see, for me, it's not days, and that might have something to do with me having had gastric bypass in the
I
past.
think
I don't
so.
know. For
Mhm.
me, it's
Definitely.
like it'll last a couple hours. So I'll have to like lay down, I'll feel sick, but then it passes after a couple of
Oh,
hours.
I wish mine would be days, like 3 solid days where I can't even go anywhere, and then at least and then it just lingers still beyond, but it's the worst.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah. So that's why, I was worried about like the Thanksgiving dinner and I didn't want to get horribly sick over eating those
Yeah.
rich foods. So be
Just
careful.
play it really safe and just remember that too, that so many people, everybody's cooking at home and there's a lot of extra butter and grease, and those are the things and the carbs and the
Yes.
sugar that will really hit your stomach hard. So
Mhm.
you gotta go easy, just really go easy. Even perhaps like if you just decide to not go on your dose that week, that's
Yeah.
probably like a good idea too.
Yeah, I'm kinda conflicted about that one because,
Mhm.
I think
I've
it's
always stayed on
easy.
it.
Yeah, I always stay on it too, and I felt like this is a lifestyle change,
Yes.
and that when I was big, I always made excuses like, "Oh, I'll
Yes.
start after this vacation.
Oh,
Oh, I'll
yeah. It
start
was
after
always
the
on Monday.
holidays."
Mhm.
There's always a holiday, there's always a vacation, so
Yeah.
I finally like, when I went on these medications, I'm like, "I'm gonna stay on them."
Mhm.
But that's how I've handled it, like, certainly do what works for you.
Mhm. Yeah, I think I feel the same way, you're just making adjustments.
Mhm.
That's the one thing is that and for those who aren't on them and are curious, don't wait, just start now
Yeah.
because we've all been through that, and so many people are like, "Well, what can you eat or what can't you eat?" You can eat the same things you always did,
Yeah.
just you're gonna wanna eat a lot less of them.
Mhm.
It's just, like, a super hard feeling to describe, but just do it.
Yeah. Yeah, and then another tip is, I did this the first Thanksgiving, like, when I mentioned that, we had, like, a healthy salad, I brought that. So, bring the
Smart.
thing that you know
Yes.
maybe that you've had before that I
Yeah.
knew I could actually eat a lot of this because it was a very light salad. So, I'm like,
Mhm.
"You know what? Like, if there's nothing else that I can eat much of, I know I can eat this." So, make your dish the healthy dish.
That's a great piece of advice. So I know that you never experienced pregnancy to know what it felt like for aversions to food. So
Mm.
the aversions that you get on a GLP-1 are very similar in that
Oh,
sense. It's just
really?
like just the thought of something can sound amazing and then it arrives like when I order like, Postmates or whatever, or you sit down and you cook it and you're like, "Oh, I can't even."
Hmm.
So, I like to s I know certain foods that I just kinda love, like you were saying, like that
Yeah.
salad, that you're like, "Oh, yeah, this can be really satisfying and feel good," and just be like, "Yep, that's what I just plan to bring." Even if somebody is like, "No, no, no, don't bring anything, you don't have to." Just know that it's completely okay to
Mhm.
bring something that you feel good. I think another important thing is traveling with snacks. Like,
Yeah.
healthy, like, protein snacks that you can have on yourself that you feel, like, satisfied with is really good.
Yeah, and making sure you're getting enough protein for most of
Mhm.
us helps that nausea. Like
Yep.
if I've eaten just too much of the carbs, like that's all I've eaten. And I do that a lot like if I'm on vacation or stuff. Like
Mhm.
I like Twizzlers for some reason on car trips. I like
Yeah.
Twizzlers and
Yeah.
I just
I'm, like, an
don't eat
anxious
well.
snacker for traveling, eating all,
Yeah.
like, those, peanut M&Ms that we were, like, diving into.
Yes.
Alcohol is another big one
Mm.
because being on a GLP-1, you typically don't really want it that much anymore.
Yeah.
Or for me, I get the worst headaches. I think it has a lot to do with the sugar. I noticed that when it's red wine, I tend to be a little bit better. But even sometimes it's just one drink or even two, and I'm either like buzzed super fast or I don't really feel it. And then it's the worst hangover ever.
Really?
Yes,
Yeah,
or I
I
get
don't have
drunk so
bad
fast.
hangovers, but I definitely have less desire for alcohol. Like,
Mhm.
I used to drink wine every single day. Like
Yeah.
in the evenings, I would open a bottle of wine, and
Yep.
now I have maybe one glass of wine a month.
Mhm.
And it is definitely the medication. It's just kind of
Yeah.
turned off my interest in that.
Yeah, it's that reward system in your brain, that reward receptor that it's like, "Nope, I don't want it anymore." But
Hmm.
I still make sure that I carry with me if nobody's tried these, I definitely recommend getting yourself some organic charcoal pills, coconut oil charcoal pills. It helps absorb the toxins, and I keep those on me always just to see if it usually will help make me feel pretty good if it's gone down a path that I didn't want it to go so
And I know a
fast.
lot of people are doing what they call the nootropics, or
Nootropics,
yeah, I
yes.
haven't really gotten into that. I
I
ordered
kinda
some
wanna try
actually. I
that.
have like
Ooh,
some like cans of I can't even remember what brand it is, but that could be something that you bring with you to
mhm.
holiday things.
Yeah, just so you feel like you're part of it.
Yeah.
Another thing, another trick that I did because just as much as the people who are pushing the food, this happened to me a lot at my last job. We would go out all the time, for drinks and stuff, and they were wanting to push drinks on me. And I'm
Mm.
like, you guys, I didn't want to keep explaining to them about me being on the meds and that I don't really even get buzzed. And then it's a short one if I do, and I feel it for days. I just didn't want to. And then they're like, oh, you're not
I
fine.
honestly might just be like, I'm an alcoholic. That would make it real easy.
Yeah. Well, what I started doing is like, if I would go and order a drink off to the side and they wouldn't know that it's like, "Oh,
Oh
it's
yeah,
vodka
yeah.
water."
Mhm.
Like, "No, it's just a glass of water." "Cool."
Yeah,
Or you just go and tell the bartender or whatever, and that's completely okay. It's definitely becoming more of a trend for people to not drink as
for
much in
sure.
general.
Yeah.
So, it's nice and feels good, and just tell people you're on that new trend. Like,
Yep.
who cares?
Mhm.
So before we wrap up, I would love to shift this to like a moment of gratitude that, for the journey that we've been able to find something. I'm so thankful that like works for us because
Yeah,
it's
and it's
life
kept
changing.
working because that was
Hmm.
something I think all of us feel nervous about is it ever gonna
Yeah.
stop working? And so far, knock on wood, it
Yeah.
keeps working for us.
Absolutely. For the first, I would say 6 months, I was like, the only thing I'm going to do is just take the medicine. Because every other time before, it would be like, oh, I'm going to go hard, for an hour or
And
two
then
in
you
the
burn
gym.
yourself out.
Yeah. And then in 3 days or 4 days or 5 days, you maybe lost like 2 pounds. And then you eat
Mhm.
something not even bad. And it's like up.
And then it's back. Yeah, it's wild.
And then you're like, I'm done. Well, it's a tool and it takes time, but go easy on yourself and know that it's worked for so many people and it's exciting. It's life changing.
And I think the other amazing thing is that there's also so many meds in the pipeline that are in
Mhm.
FDA trials right now. It's
Yes.
really like, we both grew up the fat kids, but
Oh,
it's like,
absolutely.
man, the fat kids now have like
Mhm.
so many options, or at least
Yes.
will. Like right now, there's only
Yeah.
one that's FDA approved for kids. But
Yep.
that's changing. Like
Mhm.
tirzepatide is in studies for kids right now. And then
Yes.
what is it? Retatrutide is
Yep.
gonna be the next one, and there's more and more, and, it's just exciting. So that's something I tell myself is, if tirzepatide stops working, soon there'll be retatrutide, and there's
Yeah.
going to be more and more options.
Mhm.
So, it's really just an exciting time, and I'm thankful that, we've come up with better options than, like, cutting our stomach up, which I've
Yeah.
done, and
Mhm.
that's so extreme, and
It
this is
is.
just,
And this just works better because you
yeah.
did both,
Yeah,
and this
I mean, it
actually
definitely worked
worked.
better for me. Most people who with bariatric surgery, even the ones like for me, I was one of those outliers who it just did not work.
Right.
Most people who have gastric bypass that I had do lose, I think it's like 80% of their excess weight, but they
Mhm.
gain. I mean, and that's common. So I do
Yeah.
think long term that these meds are probably better than the bariatric options.
They definitely are. There's just so many other health benefits to it
Yeah.
in general too.
Oh, yeah, it's like every day I see something else about, how they help with Alzheimer's, heart
Mhm.
disease. I
Mhm.
saw some kinda headline about cancer, and it's like just
Yeah.
one positive thing after another about how these medications help our overall health.
Agree. And another thing I'm super thankful for is that, you know, along with our voices being very open and sharing our journey, but just how the public has really now talked about it and been more about embracing knowing that obesity is a disease.
Mhm.
It's not a matter of, oh, just eat better and work out. No,
Yeah.
that's not how this works. So the more we keep talking about it and sharing, like, we would love to hear other people's stories and be your support for you guys because I know there's a huge community of still so many people, even with our orderly meds community too, that there's so many people in the group there that are in relationships. They're like, I can't tell my boyfriend or my husband or whatever, and they have to
Mm,
hide it. And
that
that
sucks.
sucks that you can't celebrate that journey together. So we're going to be that journey for you. And we're going to do another episode similar to this for December too, because there's lots of good tips and tricks along the way that we can share.
Awesome.
So make sure you keep listening to us and subscribe on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts and follow us on social media at A Holistic Dose on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And visit our website at aholisticdose.com. And thanks so much for hanging out with us. We'll be back next week with more unfiltered friend talk right here
Happy
on A Holistic
Thanksgiving.
Dose. Happy
Sorry, I interrupted
Thanksgiving.
you.
No, happy Thanksgiving.
Bye.
Bye.